It is 6 o'clock. We will call the Monday, March 23rd board meeting to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, so please stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have two items on the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes of the February 23rd, 2026 board meeting, as well as a statement of receipts and expenditures for February of 2026. Do we have a motion?
After consulting with Topher on a few items on the bills, I would make a motion to approve those two items.
First, do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any additional discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Next, this brings us to a thank you for Carrie Walls, as this is her final meeting after 12 years.
Yes, we want to take an opportunity to thank Carrie for her time on the board, both as a board member and then from 2017 till currently as our vice president. It was just over a year ago she was recognized as a level 3 WASBA member recognition for attending a lot of meetings and doing a lot of things on behalf of our board, which we greatly appreciate. Carrie has been integral in a lot of different areas, but especially on our policy and our curriculum committee, chairing our curriculum committee. And as I look back on our data over the years, when we look back to when our ACT began, when all students were required, I think this was your second year on the board, and the state required all students to get on the board, and Carrie, with the work through the curriculum committee and looking at the classes that we offer for all students, whether it's AP or honors or getting rid of low-level classes and accelerating those classes and having support classes for students instead, and providing interventions for students. And to today, we have the highest ACT score we've had. So in that time, as on her tenure, of course, it's all you on the curriculum committee, being positive here. And then, but also looking at AP scores, which is a big push for us as well. We look at the number of students that we had back in 14, 15, whether it's AP students, AP exams, AP scores, 3+, AP students with scores of 3+, and the percentage of kids. And a reminder, 3 is considered typically passing. And we fast forward to today, and you'll see we have 50% more students taking the AP. We have more students taking it, 50%. We have about 50% more exams being taken. We have almost 50%. Many more AP scores of 3+, and we have 10% more students getting that 3. So typically you're going to have, the more students you have take something, maybe the less your pass percentage is, and it's actually been the opposite for our district. And the work that you've done with our curriculum committee and the opportunity that we've had to offer additional courses has led to having more students being able to take those exams. But I think some of your initiative and support of high school administration and leadership of bringing and teachers bringing ideas forward has been invaluable across our district. So on behalf of the district, we want to thank you for all your efforts, the I don't know how many countless hours of time you've spent, whether it's getting ready for a board meeting. A lot of times we just see the time that board members spend at board meetings, but you're someone who comes to curriculum committee, policy committees, regular board meetings, having read up on topics and asking good questions, and you have been invaluable as a member of our community, and we want to thank you for that and wish you the best as you leave Grafton and as you leave the high school with your kids, as your kids graduate this year as well. So we want to thank you for all your efforts, and I know Mr. Nada has some words or a gift he wants to give you as well.
Yep. Yes, thank you for your 12 years. 2017, 9 years ago, that was the first opportunity that I had to work with Carrie when myself and Jerry and Carrie all came onto the board. Obviously, a lot of things have transpired over the last at least 9 years that we've been on the board, from referendums to a pandemic to all kinds of curriculum changes in our district, as Jeff has mentioned, has changed and has improved, and obviously your commitment and dedication and knowledge and leadership has been a big part of that. So thank you very much. Enjoy your every fourth Monday doing something else going forward. But on behalf of the board, thank you very much. We would like to give you a token of our appreciation. I'd like to.
Thank you.
Oh,
sorry.
Just take two. Take two.
Staged.
Thank you. Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you very much.
You want a picture with the board?
Sure. I'd love a picture.
Look
Yes,
at
of course.
it every fourth Monday.
That's it, huh?
And second.
Only four.
Yeah, the heights here, I'm trying to go forward and here.
Thanks, Jerry. Great. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
And Carrie did confirm she'll be at the curriculum meeting in 2 weeks, so her term actually doesn't end until 27.
Right.
All right, next that brings us to the Grafton High School presentation.
All right, good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here this evening, giving our the final school presentation, having you back at Grafton High School after taking the tour of the 3 buildings in the district. We have a great presentation planned for you this evening, and you'll hear from a lot of our students this evening about some of the great things that are currently happening here at GHS. So one of the things I always do is give you a little recap of what we've covered in our presentations over the last few years. So last year we had our Leo Volunteer Club here and heard a little bit from our robotics team. We've heard from our CTE department and their celebrations, our Hawks program, some of our world language opportunities, career internship course, Fab Lab, our Herb Cole Scholarship winner. We've done all of those things over the course of the last 4 years. And this evening, here's our agenda. So I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of an introduction for you. And then we're going to talk about our student wellness opportunities available here at Grafton High School. So we have a couple of our school counselors who will walk through that with you, and then some students here that will talk about some of the things that we have going on, so that's going to be great. You'll get a couple of program updates this evening from Graftonics and from robotics. And then I'm going to walk you through a few of our Vision 2030 updates at the high school brief, and then we're going to close with a few celebrations from the school year so far. So that's what the evening will look like for our presentation. All right, so basically we're going to focus on the student engagement and growth part of Vision 2030 this evening, college, career, and life ready. So we'll be in that student engagement and growth area. And with the student wellness opportunities, really looking at one of our key performance indicators, LR2, is the main focus of this, which is trying to get to that 100% connection rate for students at Grafton High School. But the other thing with that is there certainly are indirect connections to a lot of our other key performance indicators, just based on students feeling connected to school and then how they're able to perform academically as well. So there's a lot of those indirect connections that exist with this as well. Okay, so we are going to start with a little bit of survey data to set the stage for this first presentation. So if you go back to last year's parent and student survey, we tried to pull some questions that really on both surveys were related and give you some information. So on this first slide here, we have some great information to share. So on our parent survey with the question, my child feels accepted by students at their school, 90% of our parents strongly agreed with that sentiment. And then when you went to the student survey and found the related questions, one, I have friends that help me when I need help. 95% or higher said yes at every grade level. So it was 95% or higher there. And then the other question, I have friends to sit with at lunch or hang out with at school. That was 96% or higher at each grade level. So you feel good about the connection of that here. When you look at our second one to share, and this was related to our adults. It says my child feels accepted by adults in their school. Our parents said 92% strongly agree, which is a strong number. Interestingly, there was a little bit of a disconnect when it came to our students. So our students on 2 separate questions, if I have a big problem, there's an adult at school I can talk to about it. It was 80% or higher at every grade level, okay? And the interesting thing about this as, and that kind of maybe as you would expect, the longer you were here, the more that number went up. So really our freshmen were indicating 80 plus 80%, and our other grade levels increased. And the same thing was true with the next one, the 83%. I know my teachers care about me, 83% at all grade levels, but certainly it went up the longer that we had to meet with and get to know our students, okay? But that's a little bit of a disconnect for us here in terms of what our parents felt, what our students felt. So we want to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing with student wellness opportunities to try to ensure that connectedness rate here this evening. So in order to do that, we have a wonderful group of teachers and students who are going to help with this evening, led by Mr. Johnson and Miss May. And then you're going to hear from Rook, Ellie, Lee, and Alex with some of the great things that are going on here. So at this time, we're going to turn it over to them and you go to their presentation here. That would be awesome.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Manti, and thank you, Board, for having us. As Mr. Manti said, my name is Greg Johnson. I'm a school counselor here, and I've been in Grafton for 9 years, 9.5 years.
And I'm Emily May, one of the other school counselors. This is my 4th year in Grafton.
So tonight we just want to go over a few different things we have going on at Grafton High School regarding wellness. So the topics we're going to talk about are Wellness Week, Raise Your Voice Club, Green Bandana Project, Yoga Club, and then the United Way Empowering Minds Grant. So we'll start with Wellness Week. So Wellness Week has been going on about over 10 years. I had to ask our historian, Mike Kalina, right? Where did this start and how did it start? So he said, oh, well over 10 years. It started out as a faculty initiative, a wellness initiative, and then the faculty thought, let's get students involved and start doing things for them. So that's, I guess, a little bit of a history, and it's evolved ever since then. So it's really our Wellness Week. We used to have it in November or early December. We moved it to February. We thought that was a good time of the year to do it. And it really is an opportunity for us to highlight all the different wellness, mental health wellness resources that we have in our community and in our school. This year we had over 17 different agencies come in throughout the week, throughout Wellness Week in February. And you can see on the screens, one example is Serona Recovery. They are a partner of ours in other ways as well, but they were here and they always have a fun time. And then we also had advocates of Ozaukee County, just a slew of different places or different organizations, which has been great. If you're not familiar with Wellness Week, we do this over the lunch. Most of the activities are during lunch, so all students are exposed to what we have going on. So you can see up here, again on the screen, the 5 different squares. We had a different theme for each day, and we tried having activities that revolved around those topics. So a couple things to highlight. This year, we had you can see there's a bingo card up there. So one way to get students involved, they had to go around and see one of the counselors or something after they did something. They had to fist pump Mr. Kalina, which was fun, I'm sure, right? He's a good sport about it, of course. And so then when students finished it, if they completed it, we put their name in for a drawing for Amazon gift cards. So, and also another new highlight we had were the bounce houses. Awesome. I mean, they're kids, right? And so they appreciated it. They were well used. So this also was an opportunity for us to survey our students to see what kind of activities do they want to see. I mean, we're adults planning things. We do have some student input, but we got some great ideas. And you'll see some of the other examples of things that we did in the next slide. All right, so I would like to introduce Ellie Gerke, a junior here at Grafton High School, and she is going to talk about her views of Wellness Week over the past 3 years.
Hi, I'm Ellie, and I'm a junior here. And when I was asked to reflect upon my Wellness Week, I was brought back to all the different activities we were able to do at lunches and throughout the day. And I was just kind of amazed about how many people from our community came out to support mental wellness and support the students here. And I think even in my 3 years, I've seen the amount of tables around lunch grow every single year, and also the activities we were able to do. So there were so many more activities, I think, that were more hands-on and were like a better incentive for us to do because more people want to get up. Obviously, people want to go talk to members of the community, but I think when you're getting a little something you get to take with you, take to your classes, and you get to release some stress. The bounce houses were a great incentive. So I think that's a great way that it's grown over these years, is that the incentives have gotten a lot more fun, I think, for the students. I think Mental Wellness Week as a whole is really, really good at raising awareness and ending the stigma around mental health. I think in this day and age, we are really normalized to mental health, which I think is amazing, but I think this week creates even more of a normalization of it. And I think it creates opportunities for students to see all the resources they have that they might be too afraid to reach out for, and see all their classmates get up and go to all these tables, not knowing if they're struggling or not, and then they don't have the fear of going up there as well and asking for help on these resources. I think Wellness Week overall is just a great opportunity for the administration and all of our faculty to reach out to students and see them as more as just academic students, but also people individually. And I'm really excited to see as the impact and the week itself grows over the years. Thank you.
All right, you can also see on the screen, we had a couple of quotes. When the students did their survey, we're like, what else? Give us any of your comments. And again, bouncy castles were really fun. And one thing I forgot to highlight too are the wellness dogs that come in, and those are always a great hit. All right, next I'd like to introduce Rook Levine, one of our seniors, and he's going to talk about the Raise Your Voice Club.
Hi, I'm Rook Levine, a senior here at JHS, as Mr. Johnson said. And I am on the leadership board for our Raise Your Voice club here at Grafton. I started the club as a sophomore year justice project. Mrs. Brogelmans was talking about what problems do you see in the community around you? And it brought me back to when my friend told me that they were scared to share what they were struggling with. They were afraid to come forward and afraid to talk about it. So I was like, that's a problem. We got to fix that. So I started researching, and I started coming up with ideas of what we could introduce to the school. And I talked to the counselors, and they showed me Raise Your Voice. We are through NAMI, the National Association of Mental Illness. There it is. We are a chapter of them. NAMI Ozaki down the road is super helpful. They help out with a lot of things. And started the club. Our mission is to reduce the stigma around mental health throughout the school. We do that through many different activities. We have a monthly meeting. There's always donuts there to get students to show up. And we make signs for the school, or we've done bathroom messages. We've written with markers on the mirrors, like "You look great today," or little pick-me-up messages. As you can see, people holding up the signs and stuff like that. And then we also, in this summer, we have a NAMI walk. NAMI hosts a big walk in Wisconsin, down in Kenosha, and Sheboygan, sorry. Down in Sheboygan. And it's just a walk where everyone's there through NAMI. A bunch of other Raise Your Voice clubs at different schools show up. And it's a super way to get people involved and talking about mental health and reducing that stigma. Another event we do is during finals week. We have a study session down at the Kasmeric Center by Capco. And in the winter, we have hot chocolate bars, and in the summer, we do a lemonade bar. And usually students come with the idea of studying, but end up just talking with friends more. But that's a great stress reliever and gets people's minds off the stress of finals. So that's what we do. And yeah, thank you.
So related to Raise Your Voice is the Green Bandana Project, and I'm going to invite up Alex Bergman to talk about that.
Hello, I'm Alex Bergman. I'm a sophomore at Grafton High School, and as you can see from my backpack, students have been given green bandanas, and not only are they very stylish, they also carry a lot of meaning to them. So as my Eagle Scout project for my Troop 840, I decided to do something a little different than just building a structure like a bench or something. I decided to introduce the Green Bandana Project to the high school as focus on mental health awareness in teens. And so, as Rick said, NAMI Ozaki is a great organization, and I met with the president, Dr. Michael Weber, and he suggested that for my project, I introduce the Green Bandana Project at the Grafton High School because that's something that he wanted to be seen. And so I suggested it to Mr. Johnson and Mrs. May, and they were totally on board with it. And so since then, as you can see, we've done training. We've created posters around the school to help promote the first wave of training. And then our future goals for the Green Bandana Project is we'd like to see more representation from all grade levels at the high school, as well as just creating a more positive environment that empowers peers to seek, to seek support from peers that have been trained. And so if you can go to the next slide. So this is part of the slideshow that's in the training. So the bandana, the green bandana shows that students have been trained to listen without judgment to their peers, and that they have access to resources to help with any extreme cases of mental health struggles. So, yeah, thank you.
So we can see we have a lot of really student-driven and staff-supported initiatives around mental wellness and mental health. Another great thing that Lee Wynn, along with Ella Ellis, are going to come talk with you about is Yoga Club. So I'm going to invite them up.
Hi, I'm Lee. I'm a senior here, and I started yoga club. So first, I started yoga club my junior year, so last year. And I'm very grateful to have Ms. May as our advisor because she has past experience with yoga, so she leads all of our sessions. And I started yoga club because I realized that school can be a very stressful environment, and there's a lot of students who have academic stress or have very tight and busy schedules with extracurriculars and sports. And there wasn't really a dedicated space at school for students to just relax and unwind. So that was my motivation to start a club, to provide that space for others. And for our meetings, we have them during BHT, so right in the morning, so students can start off their day, refresh and unwind, and hopefully carry out that energy throughout the school day. And then I'll have Ella here, who contribute to the club as well, explain what we do in the meetings and the type of meetings we have.
So we try to have a variety of unique meetings, and so we've reached out to Partners with Paws to have multiple puppy yoga meetings, and we've also partnered with Best Buddies here at the school to have Best Buddy meetings, and this kind of just encourages people to come for the first time if they're too afraid to show up to a yoga meeting. They're like, oh, there's puppies, so that's how we've gotten a lot of people to come. So, and then Kaya is going to talk about her experience.
Yeah, so I'm a member of the yoga club, and I've been a member since it started. And from like the member perspective, like I think it's a really good club because I'm someone that's in sports all year round. I'm also in other clubs, and it can all be very stressful. And being able to go to school and instead of going to BHT and having to think about oh, I gotta get ready for this test next class, I can go to yoga club and just kind of get my mindset right, or kind of just unwind and carry that into my next class, knowing that oh, I feel so much calmer now, or sometimes I know I have a game and I'm oh, I'm kind of stressed, or oh, I'm sore, I have so much going on. But going to yoga club and having all these different opportunities where it's we did Best Buddies, and we got to do all these different group yoga activities, or with the puppies. It's always exciting hearing the new stuff that it has. So yeah, I think it's a really good program and club.
So there's a lot of things going on at GHS. Like I said, a lot of really student-driven programs, student-driven clubs. And one of the things behind this has been the Empowering Minds grant from the United Way that we've been so fortunate to be the recipients of. And that's allowed us to really take some of these things to the next level, have the bouncy houses, have the dogs come in, things that are nice to do but cost some money. The Empowering Minds grant has been a really great resource for us. It's also just from a more systems level perspective too, helped us be really mindful and intentional about the things that we're planning, as well as even how our student services department is physically organized. We use the money in the year 1 of the grant for a remodel of the student services suite, so now counselors and our school psychologist, Katie Martinez-Ortiz, we are all together in the same space. We weren't that far before, but you'd be amazed at how much difference just, somebody being 8 feet away from you really makes a difference on the collaboration, the ongoing collaboration during the day. And then for students too, there is one place to come for your needs. So you can see in the picture there, that's like a wall that was going up that has now become Katie's office and our conference room. And then the other picture is now we also have a wellness space or calming space for students too. So again, another way that we're just meeting the needs that students have here. We are also in the process of getting a mental health website launched. That'll be launched fall 2026. So again, mental health resources for students and families. We sought their input about what types of resources would you need, how would you access these, and so we are really excited to be able to offer that very soon. And this year, we've been focused on expanding the Wellness Week programming out beyond just that week, because it is really a big highlight for students. They like it a lot, and the feedback always is we should do this more. It shouldn't just be 1 week during Wellness Week. So that's been our intention this year. Looking ahead throughout the spring, planning some more fun Fridays, gonna bring the dogs back, some other games during lunch, and then being intentional about the high stress times before finals, before AP exams, just winding up the school year, giving teachers also the opportunity to offer wellness-focused BHTs during those times or other times. So we are, these are things that we're just really passionate about and are really excited to be continuing to build on. So to end, we will show you a video that United Way made. They wanted to showcase some of the different high schools and schools that have received the grant, and they showcased Grafton High School in one of their videos. They were here during Wellness Week, so it ties into much of what you have heard about today.
United Way's Teen Mental Wellness Empowering Minds initiative is really focused on systems level change at high schools. We're working with high schools as they implement a comprehensive school mental health system. This means embedding mental wellness into their school culture so that this work is sustainable. One of our 16 high schools is Grafton High School in Ozaukee County. This high school is really focused on providing additional opportunities for their students to engage in mental wellness activities. They host a Mental Wellness Week every year, and they also have a student-focused group that is allowing students to talk to their peers and provide support to each other to better improve the mental wellness of students across the high school.
What gives me hope is the resiliency I see in students to move through tough situations, the growth and development from their freshman year to their senior year, and their own self-awareness that we don't always give them credit for. Grafton High School knows that we want to support the mental health of our students, that they're students who are struggling with lots of mental health issues, and that students learn better when they are feeling safe and supported and well. So we also knew that there was so much more that we could be doing And with the Empowering Minds grant, we really found the structure and the support and of course the funding to bring our ideas into action.
Some of the challenges I think students face every day regarding mental health and struggles regarding it, I think definitely in a school setting there's a lot of academic pressure, I feel, for all students because everybody wants to achieve and succeed in their academics. Not only that, there's also like friendships, struggles, obviously those can like add on to your mental health struggles. So I think there's like numerous things in a school setting, but also in social settings that could affect that.
So in my classroom, students will come in with mental health issues of maybe things happening outside of the classroom.
Certainly, a different approach is something that we haven't done, but we know it's very important to share with the board. With that being said, we have 2 quick program updates for you with some exciting things happening, and this would be a career-ready indicator of participating in core extracurricular activities. So let's bring our first program update. The Graftonics, Shaunak and June, are going to come up and give a little update.
Hi everybody, my name is Shaunak Chaudhary. I'm a junior.
And I'm Juna Eberman, and I'm a senior.
We're both members of Graftonics, which is Grafton High School's premier a cappella group. Since the beginning of the school year and a little bit before, we've had camps, rehearsals constantly with Ms. Klepek, our amazing director. She's very good at what she does. And we've been working really hard to compete in this year's ICHSA.
ICHSA is the International Competitive High School A Cappella. And I think that's right. And so what we do is every year we prepare a 10-minute set which consists of 3 songs with really cool solos and student-taught choreography, which we are a part of. And so this year we competed at our quarterfinals on February 21st at Port Washington High School, and we placed in 2nd place, which is something we haven't done in years or in any of our time in the group. So it was very exciting for us to finally have this like really big success that, you know, now we have a certificate that shows how good we are. And so it was super exciting. We have great reaction photos of all of us when we found out that we won, such as that. You can see that there was a lot of range of emotions from very happy to shocked and very emotional. So that was a great night for all of us. We had celebratory callers afterwards as well. And so we spent the month after that preparing for semifinals, which includes the 9 other best a cappella groups in the Great Lakes region, which is 3 states, I believe, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois. And that was just surreal to like be preparing for performing at the Pabst Theater, which we did this past weekend.
Another big topic for us especially is right now we have, I think, 9 seniors in the group, so sustainability is a really important thing. We succeeded. We did one of our best performances in February at the quarterfinal and got to perform at the semifinals. But we want to make sure that's sustainable. So we integrated. Ms. Klepek this year at the middle school is hosting an a cappella group called Fly High Harmony. She's directing that entirely. But at the high school, we also restarted Ha Cappella, which is our underclassmen a cappella group before Graftonics to prepare students for that. We started Ha Cappella this year. June is one of the directors of that, along with me, Bella Goodwin, and Francesca Grasso. It's been a very fun time. And a few Saturdays ago at Solo Ensemble, they did a really hard piece and got a 1 on that, which is the best you can do. It was really fun seeing all these underclassmen grow and hopefully audition for Graftonics next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Klepek said that you performed in front of nearly 1,000 people at the Pabst Theater this weekend. So in front of 1,000 people, that's pretty awesome. So we wanted to give them that quick update for the board. And then the second update we want to give is 1 year ago, almost to the date, you got a very specific, detailed robotics explanation. But 1 year later, Matthew and Jacob are going to provide you with an update and some pretty good news. Let's welcome them.
Hello, I'm Matthew Viper. I'm a junior and I'm the programming lead on the team.
And I'm Jacob Nestler. I'm a junior and I'm the business team lead.
We're part of the GHS FTC robotics team called the Random Engineers.
Last year, we met with you all and gave you a showcase of our program. We answered questions and we let you drive our robot. Since then, our team has grown exponentially.
This year, we've met with 18 experts in the engineering, business, and programming fields. These experts taught us valuable skills that are valuable both to robotics right now and for future employment. Through robotics, me and all our teammates have been able to shadow professionals at Matrix, one of our main sponsors.
Speaking of sponsors, we had 8 sponsors this season and raised over $17,000 for our club. Our largest sponsor, Matrix, and its parent company, PMMI, have contributed nearly $6,000 to the program, as well as valuable mentorship and machined new parts for our robot.
Matrix also invited us to an International PAC Expo in Chicago, where we will be one of 6 robotics teams renting. There will be over 2,600 companies in attendance there.
On the robot side, a robot is designed to pick up balls and shoot it, kind of like basketball. It can run autonomously using sensors at the start of the match, and then we control it using a gamepad for the rest of the match.
But FEC is more than just a robotics competition. This year, we reached over 1,500 people spread across 21 events, including a food drive, county fair, and community presentations. We're also recruiting new members right now and trying to get younger students involved so the program continues to grow.
Within our district, we've expanded robotics by mentoring middle school teams, hosting scrimmages, and running camps. We've started an extracurricular robotics team next year with $1,000 in funding set aside, and we also applied for a GF grant to improve our robotics room space.
We attended 3 qualifiers this year, receiving the Connect Award twice for connecting with the engineering community, the Reach Award once for STEM outreach in the community, and we're part of a winning Robot Alliance once. At state, we finished 6 out of 32 teams and received the Connect Award yet again.
We secured a spot at the Chicago Invitational this July. We will be very busy this summer with multiple outreach events already in the calendar and a large focus on mentoring incoming FTC and FLL students at the middle school level.
We appreciate your support and are excited for next year's season. Thank you.
So, you know, this is why we do what we do, is to allow students to do the things that they love to do and to do them so well. It's just great to see their passion in whether it's wellness or Graftonics or our robotics program. Those are the 3 things we just wanted to highlight and provide you those 2 quick updates. So I have a couple of things to update you on, and they're probably not going to be as exciting as talking to our groups of students, but I still want to share a couple of items with you. So my Vision 2030 updates for you this year when it comes to our college-ready, career-ready, life-ready indicators. I have 3 that I've chosen to share something briefly on. The first one being our ACT composite score. This is a celebratory slide in the fact that, you know, Jeff had mentioned this earlier, you know, achieving a 23.3 composite score as a school. You can see our last 5 years, how we have trended up with our score overall. And you can see that our composite score is over 4 full points above the state average. So a reason for us to celebrate. Really, we also had the opportunity to present some of our knowledge on a state and national basis over the course of the last 18 months. And really, the pride that I take and that Kim Junker takes and Julia takes is really on behalf of the entire district with the great things that we're doing. So being able to present at an online webinar, then the ACT National Conference in Nashville this summer, and then 2 regional conferences in Illinois that we presented at this December. We're taking the work that the whole Grafton School District is doing and expanding that far beyond our walls here, so we're super proud of that. A couple of things that we're doing this year. We kicked off the 4th annual ACT Olympics, which is a competitive preparation opportunity as we come to our all-school testing day in April. And this year, we also ensured that all of our students, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, in their communication arts classes received their personalized scores from the fall, along with simple QR codes that take them directly to the test so they could see question by question how they did in the fall as they prepare for the spring test. So a couple of new resources that we presented as well. Culture of growth mindset. We have some quotes here from our students that increased their composite score by 5 or more points from one spring to the next. So we shared those with our students this year as well prior to the testing, so that was something new that we did as well. As far as our career readiness indicator, looking at choosing a cluster by graduation, one cool thing that's new this year is our partnership with the Grafton Chamber of Commerce and doing our career cafe at lunch. I'll highlight one that we just did on March 19th, which was focused on the cultivating resources area in both agriculture and then energy and natural resources. We found that our lunch periods are a really engaging time for students. They spend a few minutes eating, then they'll engage with the businesses and the organizations that are there. So we had K Comfort there, We Energy's there, just to name a few. We'll continue this into the future, and we'll get better with this next year as we go through this the first time. But that's something new we were doing with our career readiness indicator. And then our life readiness indicator, really this year focusing on 21st century skills. We moved away from our electronic device focus because we had that in a really good spot. And now we're focusing on AI and proper use of AI. Things that our teachers have done this year is have an AI policy on their syllabus, and they may also include this language on some of their assignment sheets to provide direction and clarity for our students. We've pushed our students to to monitored resources with Brisk and Gemini that are protective of their own personal information and data. So we have them using those resources, and we're excited about what the future holds for our students and their use of AI. So those are the three things that I wanted to highlight as it comes to our plan. We have our all-school testing day. Our testing date's coming up right after spring break, April 8th and April 9th. So that's what's ahead for us. While we are also working on a student connection document to Vision 2030 that our TLC group at the high school is working on, as far as presenting some information that will help and connect our students to our KPIs. So we're looking forward to sharing that with Jeff in the near future. As far as celebrations from the year, it's been a banner year. Like, here we go. I'm just going to close with some images, right? 2 students earning a perfect 36 on the ACT, Audrey and Josie. Additional ACT celebrations. All of these are wonderful in terms of the achievement that we have been accomplishing. We had a teacher receive a $50,000 grant essentially from Harbor Freight Tools from Schools. That was back in October. Then we get to November, and our volleyball team goes to state, wins a match there, finishes second in the entire state. Then we go further along in November, and we win a state championship in football. Then we induct over 30 new members to our National Honor Society in a November ceremony, so that our students, instead of inducting them in February, March, induct them in November, so they can be a part of the organization for more time than they've been able to do in the past. Great change for us. Then our wrestling team qualifies for the sectional for the first time in 25 years at that level. Audrey Hansen's our first female in school history to place at a state meet. I think she was 6th and got on the podium. That's awesome. We had a Super Smash Bros. Esports, 2nd place in the state, over 200 individuals competing. So I just want the variety here is pretty awesome. National Merit semifinalists turned to National Merit finalists. Josie and Alani, there as well. So wonderful to see that. And then just recently, a record number of white coat earners at our ceremony that just occurred recently. So the accomplishments in this year are incredible. Not only is the class of 2026 incredible and a super accomplished group of individuals that are going to do awesome things, but in addition to that, what's happened this year as part of our school year is atypical. Like, it's wonderful to see all those things. It's hard to leave anything out that's been accomplished, but I'm very proud of our students, very proud of our teachers and our staff, and I couldn't be any more honored to continue to be the principal of Grafton High School, finishing my 11th year here. We're continuing to do great things, and we will into the future because of our students like this and our staff members like this, and I give them all the credit for the work that we're doing. So we want to say thanks, and then if there is any questions you have for any one of these groups, we'd be happy to answer them for you. So thank you.
Excellent presentation. Any comments or questions from the board?
Well, of course, all great news and things to celebrate, so nice job. Great presentation, informative, love the students'
like with the wellness, there was a good amount of, you know, the counselors doing, but then the students, the amount of students that are doing things and starting groups and leading them is really great. So Shaunak, I got a question for you. In that photo at the Graftonics quarterfinals, I see you had a little certificate in your hand. You mind explaining what that was for?
Yeah, so out of the 10 groups, I got an award for outstanding vocal percussionist, which means I was good at beatboxing, so I got an award for it.
They give, yeah. Is this your first year?
This is my second year.
Second year.
And I sang in the group my freshman year.
Oh, but I mean doing the beatbox stuff.
Yeah, it's my second year beatbox.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that was, they give out a special award, and I wanted to make sure, because he didn't say anything about it, so he did a fantastic job and was recognized.
Very cool. I mean, to see all the wellness programs going and driven by the students is amazing to me. To see them pushing for things to help their peers and their classmates. Just commend all of you for that. That's wonderful. Also, I'm hearing a lot about sustainability from a lot of the groups too. And so you're not only thinking about today, but tomorrow and making sure things continue on. So thank you for that in helping the future students and the programs continue to thrive and grow.
I had a question for Alex. With your green bandanas, how many green bandana students are there currently?
Currently, there's 16.
And are you planning on running like a second training? Or?
Yes.
So like you have the green bandanas and the, what's the raise your voice?
Raise your voice.
Are
Can
they
you say
like,
that louder?
Raise your voice. So they're two separate groups, but they're both under the NAMI umbrella, is that?
Well, the Raise Your Voice is the club, they're both, yes, and.
Okay.
Green Bandana is a project that the club is doing, so.
Oh, it's under Raise Your
under
Voice,
Raise Your
gotcha,
Voice, yeah.
okay.
So we extended that first training to members of the Raise Your Voice Club or those who wanted to become members of Raise Your Voice, so yeah, it was a great first go at that.
I was curious if you're allowed to have an a cappella group without a pun for a name. I didn't know if that was legal, and it's a good one. General wellness question, maybe it applies to everyone because you're all part of the wellness program. How do we feel we're doing with freshmen? You all seem wonderful at engaging each other. I suspect it's pretty good, but you know, now that you've kind of worked through your program, maybe there's some freshmen in front of us here, but how do you feel that reaches down to that starting group of folks?
Yeah, a big chunk of Raise Your Voice's members are underclassmen, including freshmen. That is our biggest demographic that shows up to meetings and is consistently a part of it. So, I mean, freshmen are getting ready to fill our places as we leave. So.
Yeah, and 9 of our Green Bandana Project inductees, I guess, were freshmen, so.
Great. Thank you.
Excellent, great presentation. It is so fun to see, the passion that you guys have, you guys driving this. It's easier to get involvement when it's coming from you guys versus from an administration trying to get something going. So credit to all of you, great job for what you're doing for, your school, your peers, and the entire learning community. So thank you very much.
So maybe before we dismiss everyone,
Yes.
can I skip to number 2 on the superintendent's report? Would that
Yes.
be okay?
Yes.
And let me recognize the students that are here, because when I met Mr. Manti on Friday and I knew they were speaking, but we'd already had our agenda set, and so we wanted to make sure that this was mentioned. But it wasn't specifically said, but this is the first time the Random Engineers Robotics has qualified for state. So they mentioned they came 6th out of 32 teams, which is great, but it's also the first time that they've qualified for state. So truly, from the time we saw them last year through that year. It's great to see them seeing that success. We have, and probably if you're here, why don't you stand up? So Shanak Chadahari, you've already heard, Libby Coleman, Emma Eipert, Matthew Eipert, Jacob Nestler, Jocelyn O'Connor, Sam Proharski, Will Riley, Irene Shoemaker, and Chase Tendrup are all the members on the team. So let's give them a round of applause.
Picture.
Yes, so can we get all of you that came here, can you guys come up and take pictures with the board? And then you can.
Oh, how is this gonna work?
Okay, so make sure I can see your face. There we go, so I can see you. You good? I'm good. You guys good? Awesome. Thanks, guys. Great job. Great job. Thank you. Good luck. Good job, you guys.
It's required for intro to education.
All right, now we're back to.
Not nearly as exciting, ironically. But we do want to continue with our congratulatory tone by congratulating Director of Technology, Rick Seibel, who's back here. Hiding behind the screens. Rick was the recipient of the Leader in Excellence Award from Skyward. He was one of only 5 individual national winners recognized at Skyward's 23rd Annual Inventors Conference. He was quoted in Forbes magazine by Skyward as well. So we're very proud of Rick and wanted to make sure the board and our community are aware of him receiving this national award, which is great. And hopefully you saw it in the paper as well. But congratulations to Rick. And then moving on to our JHS athletes, I'll have Mr. Moore share our accolades for our winter sports season. I feel like we should clap for Mr. Moore.
Thank you. I don't get that a lot, so it's always appreciated. Hope this information isn't redundant, but it's still a pleasure, as always, to share the achievements of our student athletes and our students overall over the winter sports season. As Mr. Manti mentioned, wrestler Audrey Hansen finished 6th place at state, first female wrestler ever in GHS history to place at the state meet, finishing 6th on the podium. That's great. Competition cheer team finished 5th place at state. Esports team, the Fortnite division of Jack Nelson, Damian Morey, and Kalen Wade, qualified for state. Congratulations to them. Girls basketball all-conference honorees included Callie Tagliapietra on the first team, Ava Dotson on the second team, Brinley Hildebrand and Melanie Morgan were honorable mention. Wrestling all-conference honorees, meaning they finished top 3 at the conference meet. Ellie Federal and Audrey Hansen were first-team members. Ryan Gartman and Caleb Burns were second team, as well as Bowden Gartman, Nolan Murray, Eli Parker, Tom Shoemaker, and Parker Swenson were third-team members. Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association Academic All-State honorees for girls basketball included Kendall Conrad, Ava Dotson, Melanie Morgan, Amber Radke, Callie Tagliapietra, Ava Van Sluis, and Kaylee Van Sluis, and that includes a GPA of 3.5 or higher. On the boys' side, same thing. Academic All-State honorees for the Coaches Association, Caleb Bachanich, Elin Cornelius, Adam Dembiak, Josiah Gonzalez, and Jack Marty. And the WACPC, which is our cheer and dance WI endorsed cheer and dance organization. Their scholar athlete recognition included Bailey Mazzari, Sonia Skolman, and Taylor Skibby. Just a quick shout out as well to our dance team being a state qualifier in Division II hip hop with state soloist Avery Stiles, and our boys swim and dive state qualifiers of Aiden Wardeen, Jacob Butler, Matt Sheehy, Sam Jacoby, and Shambhav Eshakumar. So congratulations to all of our athletes. It was a great winter. Thank you.
Thank you.
As a reminder, this is our final week of the third quarter. So Friday is the final day for quarter 3, and then we go on spring break. So district spring break is from March 30th through April the 3rd. And then we will come back from spring break, and we will have our school board election on Tuesday, April 7th. Bob Mallon as an incumbent, Steve Nada as an incumbent, and Terry Vincevinius are running for the 3 open seats on the board. Profiles on the candidates are posted on our district website. And then for our educational funding partners, I believe we have an educational funding partner here, but I'll read one from another, from the KES PTG, who shared that at the March, for the March meeting, they have, once again, our families showed up. Our restaurant Give Back Night at Noodles and Company in Grafton on March 10th resulted in a $407 donation, and on March 11th, they provided a small food spread for teachers and staff to fuel up before parent-teacher conferences that afternoon and evening. Coming up in coming up in April is the 3rd annual Clash of the Claws fundraising battle with Woodview Elementary. Will take place again this year, courtesy of the Distillery on Monday and Tuesday, April 20th and the 21st. Woodview night is Monday, and Kennedy night is Tuesday. And the Scholastic Book Fair is coming back to Kennedy this spring, Tuesday, April 28th through Thursday, April 30th, with an opportunity to shop the fair from 4 to 6 in conjunction with the KES Student Art Exhibit taking place on April 30th. And I believe Ms. Van Sluis is here for the educational partner as well.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jessica Van Sluis, and I'm excited to share some recent insights and updates and highlights from the Grafton Education Foundation, GEF. This past Saturday, we hosted a brand new event at Ember Social in Grafton, and I'm pleased to report that it was a fantastic success. The event sold out with 70 attendees, and we raised $2,377. Thanks to Ember Social's ticket sales and a specialty drink offering, we saw great turnout with this new initiative. A special part of the event involved 100 of our 3rd and 4th graders who participated by providing fun and insightful Family Feud-style poll answers. Their responses were both hilarious and heartwarming. Some took a moment to decide how to answer, ponder, and think, but it was a joy to hear their unique perspectives. Here are just a few sample questions and their answers. What's something kids lose all the time? They said teeth and girlfriends. Something kids ask for at the store, they said a new sister. Something kids collect often is Easter eggs. I think they have Easter on their mind. And then something kids do when the teachers turn around is they do 6-7 with their hands. We thought that was pretty insightful. The interactive game created a family-friendly atmosphere, bringing together teachers, parents, children, and staff in a wonderful show of community spirit. Brian Nazinski served as our MC, and he did an excellent job keeping everyone engaged throughout the evening. We're thrilled by the positive community response and look forward to continuing to try new activities that involve everyone. Looking ahead, here are some of the exciting upcoming events that GEF has on deck. In May, we have an announcement, our announcement of our 2026 Golden Apple Teacher of the Year and our grant recipients. On May 10th, we will launch our online silent auction. On June 10th, we have our Color Blast Run at John Long, which is another fun event for all ages. Beginning in August, we will begin to sell our reverse raffle tickets. And as a reminder, only 250 tickets are sold. On September 27th, we have our Portraits in the Park for an opportunity to snag your family photos with VIP. And then lastly, on October 17th, we have our Casino Night. This event is now at Sandhill Tree Farms, which is an adult-only event modeled after last year's successful Night of Giving. I want to note that Casino Night has moved this year from the Ozaki Nonprofit Center, which is closed for this year for renovations, if you weren't aware. And finding a venue in Grafton that accommodates a large crowd has been a challenge. So if any of you guys want to start up a new group, a new company or a new place, that can house a lot of people, I suggest it would be a good idea. The event will also feature our raffle drawing, and the winners will be announced there as well. But thank you so much for your continued support of Grafton Education, and we look forward to seeing you at all of our events soon. And I really, really appreciate you guys supporting us, and we love that you guys have been coming to stuff, so thank you.
Thank you, Jessica, and that concludes my report.
Excellent. All right. Any comments or questions for the report? Okay. Thank you very much. That brings us to public comment. There was one email that I had forwarded on to the whole board earlier, right after the February meeting, but that was only one. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board? Okay. Seeing none, we will go to item E, personnel report.
Yes, we have 4 resignations that are occurring at the end of the school year that we're asked for board approval for. Brenna Casey, 5th grade teacher, John Long Middle School. Shelby Kimbrough, special education teacher at Kennedy Elementary School. Ann Menzel, special education teacher at Woodview Elementary School. And Kelly Peterson, 2nd grade teacher at Kennedy Elementary School.
Any comments or questions on the personnel report as presented? All right, seeing none, I would look for a motion to approve the resignation of Brenna Casey, Shelby Kimbrough, and Menzel, and Kelly Peterson.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second, additional discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. We thank everyone for their service and dedication to the district, and we wish them the best in the future. F, student overnight trip requests.
Yes, and if Mr. Jameson is reading closely, he will see that it's the FLL Challenge, Team 52435, with the slogan of, I am up to no good, that is asking for board approval to go on an overnight request for the robotics area. And then also the HOSA group, going to HOSA State at Kalahari Resorts and Conventions in Wisconsin Dells, coming up in April. And the FLL Challenge is in June 5th through June 7th. So we'd ask for board approval for both the robotics overnight trip as well as the HOSA overnight trip.
Okay, any comments, questions? We'll look forward to, for a motion to accept the student overnight trip requests as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Additional discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that passes as well. Gift reports.
Yes, so we have 4 different gift reports that we'd ask for board approval for. One from Michael Fries for GHS softball. For softball team tees, quantity 30 is restricted gift of $610 for GHS softball. For GHS golf, we have a restricted gift from Andy Wizzardi in the amount of $800 going to the golf program. Bigler Sports, with the contact person of Ken Bigler, making a restricted gift of $300 towards GHS baseball windscreen at 9th Avenue Field, as well as a restricted gift for GHS baseball from Port Washington State Bank, donation towards GHS baseball windscreen at 9th Avenue Field in the amount of $1,000.
Any comments or questions on the gift report? Seeing none, I would look for a motion to approve the gift report as presented.
Second.
Any additional discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes, and we thank them for their generosity to the district, and we will get them a letter of appreciation. Next board meeting, we'll be back at the Grafton High School for April 27th. So that will be our next meeting. That brings us to adjournment. The Board of Education will consider a motion to convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, Section 1, subsection C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the government body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility for the purpose of considering 1, preliminary notice of non-renewal of teaching contracts, 2, teacher compensation, and 3, performance-related data of the superintendent quarterly review. Would you like to make a motion to go into closed?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A second. With that, we'll go to a voice vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And yes. we
Just
are
trying to
in
keep her
closed.
for